So now we have started. Now we have enough introduction about finding out Z transform and somewhat bare minimum requirement of understanding inverse Z transform. So what we have found out that it is possible to convert a sequence xn into a continuous function xz or vice versa. For this transformation, some useful properties also we have noted down, and one very important one which we have considered is that of convolution. So when we convolve the sequences, the transform is the direct product. So convolution, which is somewhat complex operation, is transformed into direct multiplication, which is a quite simple operation. Direct multiplication, which is a quite simple operation. So Z transform provides us one effective analytical tool to look at the system functioning, system performance. It provides us more convenient way to analyze the system. It provides us more convenient way to represent the system. So I again repeat that we had considered at the beginning itself of the discrete time system is that we are having an input sequence. The input sequence undergoes some kind of operation by the system, and we obtain an output sequence. The operation which the input can undergo is very limited. That is, the output can be a summation of current and previous inputs and previous outputs. So we can represent this operation which this input undergoes by another sequence, that is Hn. So Xn is the input sequence, Hn is the output sequence, and Xn is the input sequence, Hn is the system function, and Yn is the output sequence. Xn input, Hn system, and Yn output. And fortunately for discrete time system, all these three are sequences. That's all. So in such situation, then we will very simply find it out how it can be represented by a transform, and for that purpose we take a most simple operation as regards to the system, and the most simple operation is averaging, or we will come to know that it is attributed by a typical name which I will not divulge at this moment. So we can have a simple system. I will write a system equation. System equation is called as difference equation. You might have understood the differential equation. Differential equation represents something which is equal to t. That is, y is there, x is there. So dy by dt, dx by dt, x and y, in all these terms we are having differential equation. Whereas as regards to discrete time system now, the differential equation changes its form to what we call a difference equation. Means whatever we write is Yn in terms of xn minus 1, xn minus 2 and so on, and yn minus 1, yn minus 2 and so on. It is possible for us to group the terms. So if I say xn minus 1 is as good as dx by dt. If I say yn minus 1, it is as good as dy by dt. dy by dt, what we are having is coming in differential equation, and yn minus 1 is coming in difference equation. So what I write the equation as of output as a summation of current and previous inputs and past outputs can be also called as a difference equation. So we are having one representation called a difference equation which may contain finite or infinite terms, and we are in a position to transform that also, and in transform domain it becomes more simple. So we can discuss all these options. So right now we are studying all these things wherein we are trying to acquaint ourselves with the thing, but may not be necessary that what is its exact interpretation is not known. It is just like we are preparing a lion body from its various parts. Only thing is that at the end, livelihood is to be imposed or inserted in it. So what we are right now, we are accumulating various parts, and once that complete body is prepared, in a single instant it is expected that the body will be becoming lively. So whether the body is to be made lively or not, that decision is to be taken very cautiously. Now we can have a simple system. Say Yn is equal to Xn plus Xn minus 1. Or to be more precise, I can divide it by 2. Or I can rewrite it as it is equal to point or half Xn plus half Xn minus 1. Yn is equal to half Xn plus half Xn minus 1. Right? It is a simple equation of the system. Now, we can represent the same in some other form, in the sense that since it is containing only finite terms, what convolution means? Convolution is expressed as wherein we are having a formula for convolution. This is simple equation. This I want to write in convolution form. This is a simple equation which I want to write in convolution form. What is the convolution form which I have got? I have got a general convolution form. Yn is equal to summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity h of k into x of n minus k. Means convolution equation also is summation of infinite terms, which each term contains one input and one is coefficient. Now for causal system, this or hk for k less than 0 must be 0, because otherwise what will happen, if I means what I can have, I can write as Yn is equal to h0 xn plus h1 xn minus 1 plus h2 xn minus 2 throughout, and similarly h minus 1 xn plus 1, h minus 2 xn plus 2. But the thing is that if n is representing something to be time domain, if xn is a sample sequence of xp, in that situation, it is not possible for me to predict what would be xn plus 1, what would be xn plus 2. Therefore, if system is to be a causal system, to which we shall restrict for time being now, we must have all hk prior to k equals 0 must be 0. Therefore, we can also write it as like this. And here what I am having? In this case, I am only having, so hk represents the system. hk represents the system. So h0, h1, h2. So xn plus h1, xn minus 2 and so on. So h0 indicates the coefficient with which the current input is having its effect in the output. H1 is the coefficient indicating the contribution of the just previous input in the output. Is all right? So in this case, we are having only two non-zero terms. So the same equation we can write as y. The coefficient, the multiplier of xn is h0 and multiplier of xn minus 1 is h1. So I can say that hn, what I have got is half. It is frequency, which is half. Xn can be a continuous infinite sequence, hn is a finite sequence, so yn would be an infinite sequence. Is it clear? half. Now, we can also have HK, if I can have a very simple sequence, that HK, I hope now you understand HN and K. Just we are using one index, and in the convolution since one index is to vary and one is to remain constant, we have to use just the indexes different. Otherwise, Xn, Yn and Hn all are sequences. Similarly, we can have Hn is equal to half raised to n un. Hn is half raised to n un. Means what is H0? H0? 1. H1? Half. H2? 1 by 4. H3? 1/8. And so on. Is it okay? So in that situation, what would be Yn? Yn would be?
दिसते हैं चलो कंप्यूटर में दिसता हो साइड
Yn would be? Half raised to k Xn minus 2. So in this case, Yn is infinite summation. Yn is so here Hn is finite. Here Hn is infinite in length. So Yn is an infinite summation. Yn is an infinite summation. For every value of single value of y, you have to compute infinitely. But the problem now is what? We can compute like this. Therefore, we can also write down what is Yn minus 1. This is the equation for Yn. So we can also write down the equation for Yn minus 1. Equation for Yn minus 1. What is the equation would be then? What is the equation would be?
k equal to 1 to infinity summation.
Again, k equal to
1 to
in this case there is not any change. This would be 0 to infinity. Half raised to k x of n minus k minus 1. Right? Or to be more precise, it should be n minus 1 minus k. So this I can write as, I will remove the term for k equal to 0 here. I will remove the term for, what I will do in this case, how we can proceed very effectively. This is one summation. This summation you try to represent as this plus something. This plus something. How you can do that? So what I ultimately want the equation of y in terms of some xn, some y minus 1. Maybe xn minus 1, maybe y minus 2, like that. So can you reduce it very easily? Subtract it, very simple.
Y equal to x.
This is it.
Y minus 2.
If you, there is very simple principle, like ab initio. If you are unable to find derivative of a given function, then simply go for, what you go for? F of x plus h minus fx upon h as h tends to 0. First principle. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So 1 minus 2 gives us
Y equal to xn plus y minus 2.
1 minus 2. What does it give? Whether 1 minus 2 will give something directly? No?
Might not.
Yeah. Then
the half is to get half will come out.
yes.
And then we can express it in terms of y minus.
And don't try to model the things.
So have some simple working based on
Our
this.
model is for the general. Huh? For the general. For the general. कौन बोल रहा है? कहीं और कोई ये बीता हाँ कोई लगता है ये बीता है तेरे चला था और ये डी कोई ना बीता है चलिए क्या शॉर्ट चलेगा
Y is equal to x plus 1/2 y minus 1.
Answer is
राउंड
y is equal to
X plus 1/2 y minus 1.
half
समझने काय करायचं
expense
Half y minus 1.
मला खरंच खूप जॉब होत
half y n minus 1 is the final answer.
ओके सगळं राहिलं गडे
This is the final answer.
मग कसं
So how we decided?
कसं how कसं सगळे सगळं सोडून आपल्याला काही येत नाही हे बाय सगळे सोडून सोडून असं
In which equation?
काय बोलायचं
In this equation. Put k plus 1 equal to p. Then what will happen? N minus 2 is equal to 1 half plus 2 p plus 1.
आता मला कळायचं पण झालं इतकं असं नाही आपल्याला काहीच येत नाही बेकार वाटतंय हा आम्ही कसं सोडवलं आपण नाही सोडू त्याने असलं गेले कशाबद्दल तरी तुम्ही सोडून त्याच्याकडे मोठं हा तर नाही समजलं
So now listen. If I put
N minus 1 equal to n.
n minus 1
Equal to n.
m. N minus 1 equal to m, then what will happen? N minus 1 is not proper.
Keep. झालं
K minus 1, K plus 1.
के प्लस म्हणून टी टाकायचं एन मायनस टी इज इक्वल टू एम टाकायचं आहे ना
K minus 1 equal to p. Then K would be
के मायनस वन कसं टी प्लस के प्लस वन
p plus
मायनस
1.
कॉमन घ्यायला
This will become n minus p.
तर त्याला एन मायनस पी वन व्हायसाठी ते के प्लस वन टाकायला पाहिजे
Minus p. I will do that.
तर के प्लस वन इज इक्वल टू टी टाकायचं
K plus 1 equal to p. Substitution is K plus 1 equal to p.
म्हणजे एन मायनस पी होईल
Or if you want n minus k, what is here? Y minus 1 is, it should be expressed like this. N minus 1 minus k. Right? N minus 1 minus k. Then this I can write as n minus into bracket 1 plus k. N minus into bracket 1 plus k. And 1 plus k equal to p. If we put 1 plus k equal to p, then k becomes p minus 1. K becomes p minus 1. So, when I put 1 plus k equal to p, directly our integrate the equation.
N minus 2 equal to
Putting 1 plus k equal to p, putting 1 plus k equal to p, the same equation becomes y n minus 1 is equal to summation. When k is varying from 0 to infinity, 1 plus k will vary from
1 to infinity.
So for p equal to 1 to infinity, half
p minus
raised to k, half raised to p, half raised to
p minus 1
not p, half raised to
p minus 1 p minus 1
k is minus 1, half raised to p minus 1. Means what? Half raised to p
n minus p x n minus
half raised to p minus 1. means half raised to p into half raised to minus 1. Half raised to p into half raised to minus 1. So what I should write?
2 into.
2 comes out, correct? Is it okay?
Okay.
Half raised to p into half raised to minus 1, that is 2 into x of n minus p. X of n minus p. Is it correct?
Yeah.
It's okay? X of
n minus.
n minus p.
20 मिनिट झाले. साधा वगैरे.
Is it all right?
साधा वगैरे तुम्हाला काय
So now, look at this equation. Look at this equation. So this I can further write. What I can write? Half, this will become here. Half yn minus 1 is equal to this. Summation half raised to p x of n minus p. That is p equal to 1 to infinity. Now what? What about this?
लिमिट मध्ये जर घोळा सर नाहीतर व्यवस्थित आहे करतो.
So this now I have equation 1. Now I can see the equation 3. This is the equation 3. So equation 1 I can rewrite now. Equation 1 I can rewrite in the form what? What is this? This is summation. This is summation. What I can do? I will write this summation for k equal to 0 term separately and k equal to 1 to infinity term. So what this would be? Yn is equal to, for k equal to 0, what is this?
1.
For k equal to 0 this is 1. Meaning this is only 1. And what this would be? Xn. So Yn is equal to Xn plus the remaining summation. Remaining summation is k equal to 1 to infinity half raised to k x of n minus p. Is it okay? And if I look at both in the equation, then I can say that this part is half y1. So half y minus 1. This part is half y minus 1 because p equal to 1 to infinity, half raised to p, x minus p, just 1. So I can come to this solution. Y is equal to xn plus half yn minus 1 plus half yn minus 1. Plus half yn minus 1. So this conversion expression, which requires output to be a combination of previous inputs in a particular manner, is rephrased into a small equation, a difference equation. The conversion equation is rephrased into a difference equation.
मला हे म्हणायचं ते पुन्हा जवळ पोरं ट्राय करायचं म्हणजे त्यांना कळते काय करायचं ते आहे ना. जमलं जमलं तो देवाला नाही दिसत आहे.
So right now, so for
झूम कर.
we are now having
दिसत आहे तेव्हा ना वाय
two equations. First and second, for both of them, we know xn, equation between yn and xn. We also know hn. We also know that our output is equal to convolution of xn and hn. We will find Z transform and we shall try to interrelate how it fits. So Z transform, inverse Z transform. So we will try to present a near complete picture. So two cases we are considering. One is called as infinite impulse response and second is called as finite impulse response. let us consider case 1 first. So case 1 we have got the governing equation yn is equal to half xn plus half xn minus 1. So this has got, it means that hn is equal to half, and this is right, and ultimately the conversion equation we have, or this now I can write as conversion of hn into xn, right? Convolution. As is convolution, what I must have, yz is equal to hz into xn.
वाय झेड म्हणलं की पोट्टे कशी करायला
yz is the transform of yn, hz is the transform of hn, and xz for xn. Now how I can establish the same relationship? What would be hz? We can very easily correlate. Find, taking that transform of equation 1, how will I have? First y, what is the transform with yz? So yz is equal to, what it is? Half xn, means what? Half xz. Half xz. And if you are able to answer this, what is z transform of half xn minus 1?
1 upon z, 1 upon z,
1 upon z,
2z, 1 upon 2z, 1 upon 2z.
1 upon 2z is
काय चाललं एकदा सांग
correct answer, but not in a proper form. 1 upon z into z inverse.
कसं कसं ते कसं काढायचं
Because we know that if xn transforms to xz, xn minus n naught gets transformed to z raised to minus n naught xz. I hope that the recording of lecture is not substitute for writing at the time of class.
कोण सापडलं
Recording of lecture doesn't prohibit writing in the class. So notebook is for writing. So now what we can have? Now I can. So why to simplify the equation? Yz is equal to now half plus half z inverse. Half plus half z inverse into xz. So I have got yz is equal to something into xz, and this is I say as xz. What is xz now? So by that, what is it xz? Xz is very simple. Half plus half z inverse. I will find that transform of hn. So this is going to confirm what is hn? Half. Find it the transform. Half plus half z inverse. So we have not learned any new thing here, but we are trying to see that when we are not convinced about something, in that situation, coming to the same conclusion means if we have got something which I have not clearly understood, but procedures I have clearly understood. I have not understood the theme, but I have understood the procedure. Then, application of the same theme by two procedures, if it results into the same conclusion, then that increases my conviction about the theme about which I was somewhat doubtful. Are you getting me? About the theme I am doubtful. So I want to apply the same theme by two different methods, and I want to see that I arrive at the same result. If I am able to arrive at, it means that I am correct. So like this I have arrived. Now we try to apply same thing for another equation. What is that?
सर स्वतःच्या रूमाला वापरलं हां पुसायला हां
That is, we have got
तो पाय दुसऱ्या वाल्याने लावला तो
the system equation as yn is equal to xn plus half yn minus 1 plus half y minus 1. And what is hn there? What is hn? Hn is half raised to n un, right? If h0 is 1, h1 is half, h2 is 1/4. So half raised to n un. Right? So yn is obviously hn convolved with xn, and yz is equal to xz into xz. So you can find everything independently. Take the first equation, try to transform, see what you get, and try to arrive at the same conclusion by Cartesian method. Just try to come at the answer.
असंच का हे दादा असंच का मला सांगा याच्यावर अप्लाय केला आता याचं पुढं काय झेड रेस टू काहीतरी इंटू झेड रेस टू मायनस केला काहीतरी असतं झेड ट्रान्सफॉर्म करताना हे जे दिलेलं फंक्शन इंटू झेड रेस टू मायनस केलं असतं
एक्स ऑफ एन आपले एक्स ऑफ सिरीजचे ॲडिशन
कॅन्सल करायचं
So yn it gets transformed to yz is equal to xz into half plus half z inverse yz. Right? So yz, this gets shifted on the other side. So I get yz into bracket 1 plus half z inverse
1 minus तेवढं येते आपल्याकडे
that is yz is equal to 1 upon 1 minus I like 0.5 z inverse into x. So I put this now. We know that yz is equal to xz into xz. is that
काहीतरी वेगळं आहे तरी समीरा
z is equal to 1 upon 1 minus 1.5 z inverse. This also can find that half raised to n un, we know that the answer is 1 upon 1 upon half or 0.5 z inverse. So we find that the thing is match.
पुढं काय
जेड याचा मायनस एन का काय असं
जेड टू मायनस एन
मग पुढं
त्याचा ट्रान्सफॉर्म काय असतो 1 upon 1 मायनस जेड टू मायनस 1 तर इथे कॉमन आहे इथं हाफ आहे
So with this,
हाफ आहे ना ॲडिशन
what I can look to Z transform as Laplace transform was considered a tool to comfortably work with the differential equation in algebraic form. Similar thing holds good for Z transform, wherein Z transform deals the difference equation into a simple algebraic form, and what we can conclude that Z transform provides us an easy handle to work on the discrete time system. So, discrete time systems actually is nothing but the manipulation of sequences. Input sequence, system sequence or system function, and output sequence. They're cascading, and multiple things will do come. So, Z transform allows us to represent the sequence uniquely in an alternate form. So xz is an alternate representation of xn, and I find that this alternate representation is more convenient. This alternate representation is more convenient in dealing with the analysis of the system. Now, we shall further focus that very clearly it has been mentioned that Z is a two-dimensional variable. Z is a two-dimensional variable and xz is its two-dimensional function. I further repeat that I am defining the flow of the subject in such a manner that no other prerequisite is needed except the attendance in the class or viewing of the video lecture. We are trying to develop the thing in a completely independent manner. So we will not be touching upon all the things as there in the syllabus, but we shall try to get ourselves acquainted with various processes, with various computations. Now inverse Z transform, no doubt that it is required. But once I mean in a flow what I must master at and what I can rely upon. So we can divide various modules in that part. So finding out of inverse Z transform, I must be able to find out. But if I am not able to find out, in that case the same task can be delegated. Means just like in old school days, there was a concept of table. You must memorize the table. Memorizing of tables can be substituted by calculator. Means merely because I do not understand, say 23 into 7, means I am not able to compute 23 by 7 instantly. That doesn't limit my understanding. So inverse Z transform is something on which we are not focused at. There are different ways. Something was asked to you. I am very much sure that most of you must have rigorously worked on it. There may be there might have been increased demand for rough notebooks from the nearby stationery shops, and still the process is on. So let us allow that process to be on for some more time. So let us benefit the stationary vendors in and around, and you come up with a concrete solution. So finding out in the method for going for inverted transform other than inspection or by power field method, I want answer from you. But we will not spend time on that because we may delegate the task to somebody who gives me inverted transform, right? So what our focus should be? Our focus should be for those aspects in which some real discussion is needed in the classroom. So we should try to utilize the classroom in a way which will exploit its utility and which will not make the discussion redundant. So we may try to use that transform. I want you to convince yourself that that transform provides a better way of looking at the thing. Then means if that, I again would like to tell you very clearly, it is not that Newton said something about gravitational law, but apples didn't fall because Newton has said about the law. So Newton's law is not the reason, but is what we can say interpretation of the things happening. There is no cause effect. Newton's law means it is not that Newton made the apple to fall. Means had Newton not, had somebody not understood gravitational laws, still the thing would have been happening. So if that transform is not understood by you, that doesn't prevent happening of the system functioning. But what I mean to say is that I want everybody of that transform is that way redundant. Without that transform you can work. Without complex numbers you can work. Without Laplace transform you can work. By solving complex differential equations, one can, unfortunately or otherwise, now maybe a few years back, ability to solve a complex differential equation in a proper manner might have been something which few might have enjoyed, and they might have been competitive. Yes, I'm in a position to solve it. Say that homogeneous form and then particular solution, various things are there, complementary function, particular integrals, and like that. But as the days have changed, the tests of intellect have also changed. Therefore, I want you to convince yourself that that transform is useful for you. Over?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you are able to do that, the purpose of the discussion will be meaningful. Then further I want to take it that that transform being a continuous function of a two-dimensional variable, so Z can have any range. If I want to restrict the range of Z, that too on imaginary axis or y-axis we can say, or j omega axis, or with such a constraint that mod Z is equal to 1, that is the unit circle. Mod Z is equal to 1, that is the unit circle. If I want to restrict that, in such situation, what is going to happen? Means Z is a complex variable, no doubt. So if it is put in such a manner that mod Z is equal to 1, mod Z is equal to 1 provides me a unit circle. Mod Z is equal to 1 provides me a unit circle, and what more difference I get for mod Z is equal to 1. What trans means I can convert the transformation x of Z into x of what I can say e raised to j omega. So it is what is called as a discrete time Fourier transform. You are not aware of Fourier transform. Laplace transform is a larger set of which we can consider Fourier transform to be a subset. So all these things are just connection of various parts of life, and at the end only it is expected that you would be able to hold it. Let's hope for that. And there's no question of being prepared for us. We are always prepared for the work. Okay. So we aim now. Tomorrow is Wednesday timetable, but we do not have a slot. I will try to find something. Otherwise, we will continue regular. Thank you.
उद्या सुट्टी नाही का सर?